Yes, sir. What's happening? What's happening? You already know. It's your Carolina cousin, right way, Jake. Hope all is well out there. Yes, indeed. And before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to the Tronics Network. I want to give a shout out to Radio Pushers. I want to give a shout out to Creation of Greatness. We had a wonderful time out there last week. We recorded some phenomenal content. We got some great business handled. Oh yeah, shout out TMZ as well, man. Had a great time out there as well. Man, just stay on the lookout for that because there's gonna be more to come as time goes by. Now, with that being said, I want to go ahead and get into this Puffy verdict. Now, for those who don't know, Puffy was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months. Now, he was acquitted of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges, which could have resulted in a life sentence. However, he was convicted of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. This refers to transporting individuals for sexual acts and prostitution, a charge which falls under the Mann Act. Now, I want to give a shout out to Falset Media. I got the content from there. There's a gentleman by the name of Lionel Legal. He's a legal expert. He has some interesting things to say about the case. And with that being said, I want to go ahead and play a little bit of what Mr. Lionel Legal had to say.
This Diddy case was the biggest bunch of nothing I've ever seen in I don't know how long. And what amazes me are the people who just hated him, who just wanted blood because he was this bad guy. Let me ask you something. What if Hugh Hefner, remember the stories of Hugh Hefner? Hugh Hefner abused these girls, and Hugh Hefner took advantage of girls, and Hugh Hefner may have actually done some terrible things. Playboy bunnies, women who went out of their way to audition for him. Now, that doesn't give anybody carte blanche. That doesn't give anybody license or an excuse to commit sexual battery. But Diddy never transported women for prostitution, and if he did, they're prostitutes. Is anybody following this?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody understand what the Mann Act is?
Exactly. Now, they really tried to get him on the prostitution thing. You really didn't have a case on that. I mean, we all saw what happened, but again, they're just basically throwing crap against the wall and seeing whatever sticks. That's all that really was. And I mean, I know they tried to use the whole Cassie video to make him seem like he was such a bad person. And hey, listen, that was a horrible video. That was a horrible thing that happened, but he was not on trial for domestic violence. He was not on trial for domestic violence. Okay, you tried to get him with a RICO, and the RICO didn't hit, so you kept throwing things against the wall, hoping that something would catch, and it didn't catch. Now, when you look at the Mann Act, that was basically made for black men. That was when Jack Johnson was moving across state lines with his woman at the time. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were married. Please fact check me on that last part. But I know him and the woman, it was consensual. That much for certain. And they basically saying that, hey man, you can't be out here moving with these white women across state lines, so we basically gonna lock you up for that. And if you ever notice, when he brought up Hugh Hefner, there's been countless stories about what's been going on at the Playboy Mansion, but be quiet. That's how it is about that. You feel what I'm saying? But when it comes to black men, R. Kelly, Puffy, etc., they're quick to throw that Mann Act out. Now, I want to play a little bit more of what Lionel Legal had to say. Let's go and play some more.
Get him on sex trafficking. They didn't get him on racketeering, and this is the only thing. They called him like a pimp, like he was some kind of a big, not international, but some love broker, to use that night shift or after hours. I mean, he's a dirtbag. But this goes on all the time. Whom did he piss off to get this sentence?
Exactly. I said that from the beginning. I always thought that he pissed somebody off. Who? I don't know. Well, they were saying something about the liquor company, Ciroc. I think he tried to sue the owners of Ciroc, and if I'm not mistaken, it was for racism. And once that happened, it was like, okay, now you're getting too big for your britches, and now we got to chop you down some. That's what some are saying. if you look at the whole situation, I mean, this is really like his first actual real charge. So for him to be in jail for 4 years and 2 months, that says to me that, listen, this guy really shouldn't, like, he really didn't deserve all of that. I mean, honestly, he should have been free, in my opinion. That, I mean, if you're going to charge somebody for, hiring prostitutes, which all were willing participants, nobody was coerced, nobody was forced, none of that. But again, you tried it. This was basically a humiliation ritual, in my opinion. I want to give a shout out to the art of dialogue. Gene Deal, someone who's been on a jihad against Puffy for years. Of course, he had a lot to say. And I want to play a little bit of what Gene Deal had to say about the Puffy verdict. So with that being said, let's go ahead and play this.
Show that tells me when God puts you in a position and puts you in a place to be involved in something, his word ain't never wrong. It is exactly what I said on my show. I said, Diddy gonna end up doing 24 months in prison. The judge gave him 50 months, but you gotta realize he already had 14 months in it, practically, and he's going to get credit for 2 months of that 14 months. That give him 16 months. He's gonna do 24 months, which is gonna give him about 30 months because he only had to do 85% in the feds, and he goes to probably a halfway house. So he got off like a fat rat in a cheese factory. But for a dude like Diddy going to jail and spending all that time, I'm not saying it's going to be rough or nothing like that, because his former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burrows, with the federal jail. You understand? Lil' Kim with the federal jail. So, because the type of dude he is, he'll make it, he'll be all right. And plus they're going to send him to a camp, bruh. He'll be in somebody camp or somebody dormitory, whereas that it'll be real light for him. So, he'll see the streets back again in 24 months. He'll be out within 2 years.
I can see what he's saying on that. Like, he ain't gonna do long. Cause I said to myself, it was gonna be like 5 to 7 with time served. I mean, it was less than that. I mean, if we're being honest, like he's absolutely gonna get time served, because again, there was no reason for him to even be in jail in the first place. But again, they really tried to. It was really like an assassination of character. If we're really being honest, it was truly an assassination of character, and that's what they tried to. That's what they tried to do to him in court. And even though they couldn't convict him in the court, the actual legal court, they convicted him in the court of public opinion. Again, humiliation ritual. Now, another person I want to I'm gonna let them say in their own words what they felt about the Puffy verdict with Suge Knight. Again, shout out Art of Dialogue, man. Buddy be working. I ain't gonna lie, Buddy be working. But shout out our Art of Dialogue. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe over there. I want to play a little bit of what Suge had to say about this whole Puffy case, because he said something very interesting that really just sparked a thought in my mind about the mothers of Puffy's children. Let me go and play that real quick.
Well, for as Puffy concerned, it's a great day for him. It's an even better day for his family. His mother. Shot goes out to his mother. She gets to spend her days with her son, soon back on the streets, and he got daughters. So that's always a great day for the family. Overall, though, it's not surprising. We do all know one thing, like I said before, Puffy has strong ties with the government, with the feds, and anybody else would have been cooked, done. I mean, that's the first time in history that a person going to get sentenced and they can actually put on a campaign like they're running for the president of the United States, where they can show videos and pretty much everything Only thing I was waiting on was the fact that I was waiting on him to bring out the DJ and start playing music and let him do what he do best, dance and shake that ass and end up with no time. And the other side of it is that, well, the sad side of it is that I couldn't believe that not one of his baby mothers came in to support him or testify. And I was surprised by that because that shows a lot about the character. I know if I was on the stand, if I was up there, at least a few of my baby mamas, at least one for sure, will come have something good to say.
Mm. And that part really struck, that really, it just sparked that a thought in my brain, like, because I hear the children say, like, you know, he's a changed man, he's a good person, et cetera, et cetera. He put out the whole campaign video showing how much of a good person he is and, you know, how helpful he is and things of that nature. But now one of your children's mothers came and spoke up for you. Now that, again, I got to give a shout out to Suge on that one. That does say a lot because, I mean, I'll at least speak for me. The women of my past, they don't, if something were to happen to me, God forbid, but if something were to happen to me, I know at least a few of them. I know actually them, I know a good amount of them who would have positive things to say about me, for sure. Actually, probably almost all of them, if I'm really being honest. But that's another story for another day. But in closing, I don't think Puff should have got no 4 years and 2 months. I really think he should be out right now. And y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, should he be in for this amount of time? Should he be out today? Should he have gotten the max? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Was it a humiliation ritual? Who did he piss off? Do the people that he might have pissed off, do they feel like they got what they were looking for? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. It's your Carolina cousin, Right Way Jay, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one.